Well, what an amazing viewpoint. A few Harleys parked up there as well. Right, hopefully we've got the thumbnail of the series there. Right, time to get to our hotel. Not sure we're going to get there for sunset, but that shot will make up for it. What a superb viewpoint. Not every day you get to ride a cracking riding road under the view of a volcano like that. Been lucky enough to see a few volcanoes in my time, but I have to say that is the most impressive one in terms of lighting, closeness, geometry. Absolutely perfect looking thing. Brilliant. Right, about 20 minutes we should be at our hotel. Just gets better and better as you get nearer this thing. Once again the GoPro will flatten her down, but that is a mighty impressive mountain. So we've arrived at the hotel. It's a very nice Western style place. We're just going to unload the bike and we'll show you the room in a sec. Alright, so we've got the stuff off the bike, so we're back in our room. Thought we'd give you a quick look around. Mrs. Flyer, do your thing.
Follow me! Yay!
Actual beds!
Yes! It's great. Western style hotel, fridge, kettle, view of Mount Fuji, which...
The seats are here because there is a view of Mount Fuji out there, but obviously can't sit at the moment, but we'll get up in the morning and show you that. And we've actually got our own toilet and bathroom and everything. Yes. Fantastic. Let's just have a quick look. Ah, yes, seems acceptable. Right, we'll see you in the morning for hopefully a sunrise view of Mount Fuji. Well, good morning folks, it's the next day. We got up nice and early at sunrise, had a look out the window, and unfortunately Mount Fuji was obscured by cloud, so it's like an hour later now. We thought we'd come out for a little walk to have another look. We've come down to a viewing point by the lake, so let's see how she's looking now. Pretty amazing lake. Nice reflections. Now Fuji's unfortunately under the cloud in the background there, so not much to see, but gosh, had it not been, that would have been quite a view, wouldn't it?
It would have been amazing.
But nonetheless, it's still a beautiful place. Super peaceful here. Alright folks, we're off. That was an excellent hotel. National Park Resort Kiyomiya Fuji it was called. And yeah, very good. So comfortable rooms in there. Food was buffet style, so although they had all the traditional Japanese stuff that we so love, we were also able to find some food that was more to our taste, so it was excellent. And a really nice setting. Sad, or a bit of a shame that Mount Fuji was obscured by cloud this morning, but according to Wes, that is often the case, so we were doubly lucky yesterday evening when we came in to get such spectacular views of it. Anyway, today we're basically heading back to UB Touring's base, handing the bikes back, and then that's us done. So hopefully the sun might come out a bit later, and we'll get some nice views on the way back. And then when we get to our airport hotel, we'll do a little sum up and summary of what we think of Japan. So we're not actually that far from Wes's home now, and so this is an area he knows well, and he was saying that he comes up this way quite often and rides trails around here. Apparently the mountains around here have got quite a few trails for off-roady types, and it's that sort of place. Although we're going through a built-up area now, there's we went for a bit of a walk around the lake this morning, and there's a lot of campsites, things like that. Absolutely fabulous setting for that. Again, the weather has completely changed today. Yesterday turned out sunny and warm. Today it's not particularly cold, but certainly overcast. One thing that has surprised me about Japan is just quite how mountainous it is. Now I kind of knew that there were mountains here of course, but given we've travelled a fair chunk of southern Japan, pretty much all of it has been mountainous. There obviously are some flatter bits, but you're never kind of out of sight of mountains, which is good because I love mountains. I mean, look at these here. I mean, as ever the GoPro will compress them down, but these are absolutely spectacular. And it's been lovely just to get into that rhythm that you do when you're on these longer bike tours, of each day jumping on the bike and riding through spectacular scenery. You just get into a sort of a cadence that I love about bike touring. I'm going to miss that when I'm back home in Blighty. This will seem like a million miles away in just a few days' time. How fortunate are we that we've been able to do this? Certainly one of those once in a lifetime trips that we'll always remember for sure. Just pulled up at some roadworks. Had to show you the setup here because it's quite unlike anything we would get. We've got some signage, we've got flashing lights, Blackpool style. We've got a little inflatable workman on top of some sort of floating donut, and we've got a man with a baton who's doing some sort of Luke Skywalker dance. It's all culturally different. So at home we'd just have a cone and a traffic light. Here, all manner of visual delights. Just stopped at a little market stall here, and interested to see there's pickled wasps for sale.
Yeah, these are alcohol drowned wasps.
Nice. We'll have a dozen. Once again, I find myself in a toilet with Wes. This time, not to show you a view, but an interesting juxtaposition. We all know that the toilets here are world class, second to none. Check this out. They have the hole in the floor type 2. Best avoided, I think. Just heading down towards a lake now with some more lovely views, and just up ahead, which you may be able to see in the GoPro, is a Caterham 7, the likes of which I drove up at Crazy Horse in Bury St Edmunds a few weeks back, and I put a video up of that. I never expected to see a Caterham 7 in Japan. To my right is Lake Seiko, and there was a sign back there for the Seiko Bat Cave, and we were just discussing that if Batman and Robin have retired to Japan, maybe it's a good idea not to advertise where the Bat Cave is. A few people out there fishing. Seen quite a lot of fish farms in the lakes around here. I'm not sure what sort of fish they are actually breeding in the freshwater lakes, but as we well know, the Japanese do like a fish. Well, this has been a very pleasant ride down by the lake. It's had a very sort of southern European feel about it, actually. Sort of, I don't know, reminded me a bit of Lake Annecy, somewhere like that. Certainly very popular with tourists and locals. I mean, this is a Tuesday lunchtime that we're filming this. Imagine what it's like on a sunny Saturday. Well, the cloud has really come down now over the mountains. Still a spectacular sight, mind, but so much nicer when the sun's out. Right, last ride through the mountains. It's back to base at UB Touring, and that's another Missenden Flyers tour series pretty much done and dusted. Alright, so that's our Japan tour done. You join us now back in central Tokyo. We're at a sort of a cheap and cheerful
airport hotel.
Airport hotel, that was the word. We've actually got ourselves a beer. Carol's got herself a G&T, which is the first one for a long time. So we're just chilling and musing over how the trip's gone. So I thought just to sort of finish off, we'd go through some of the things that we've learned about Japan, some of the things that maybe surprised and delighted us. What do you think, Carol? What would you like to say about the whole thing?
Okay, We honestly feel very privileged to have come to Japan. We're very fortunate. Not many people can come here, and particularly doing it the way we did it.
Which wasn't particularly touristy. We saw the real Japan.
And we also went to touristy sites. Our guide took us there because we asked to go there. So the Japanese people are extremely courteous and friendly and kind, which Wes had told us, and he was correct with that. And they were great. The place is extremely clean. I cannot believe it. It's wonderful. There is no rubbish around. The public toilets are all very clean. Their toilets, wow, they're amazing.
The toilets are world class, another league. I would though, whilst we're talking about toilets, which inevitably you do when you talk about Japan, of course, we're British, is that their toilet paper itself, only one ply. Did you notice that? A little bit curious?
Yeah, it was very thin, but they'd have very... comprehensive and sometimes quite complicated toileting arrangements.
Yes.
But they are great fun. And looking for the flush is always comedic because I can never find the flush.
Did you say that everything works? So here we are in the middle of a big city. I'll just show you what's around us. We're just on a busy street, look. So not exactly a salubrious spot, but there are no car horns going off, there are no sirens going off. We're in the middle of one of the biggest cities, the biggest city, in fact, in the world.
Yeah.
And it's actually quite quiet, isn't it? Although, of course, there's traffic, but...
Yeah, but there's no sirens going, nobody honks their horn.
Yeah.
People are courteous to each other as well.
We should say something about the food for people that might want to come to Japan.
The food is... we found the food quite challenging. We got used to it, and what happens is, like with all food, you find what you like and what you don't like.
When we say the food was challenging, that is because we have been off the beaten track. Where's our guide has been amazing. Not only has he been our tour guide, but he's been our walking encyclopedia, he's been our translator, he's been our cultural advisor and attaché, and basically advised us on all the weird and wonderful things that go on here in Japan. Hopefully you've seen some of that over the course of these videos. So having a Wes was, well, it's not only fun, essential to do the sorts of things we did, but that also meant we stayed in some places that normally tourists don't go, and that's why we feel privileged, because he took us to some places that you couldn't go if you don't speak fluent Japanese. So those hotels we showed you where we sleep on futons, we ate traditional food. The problem with the traditional food is both Carol and I don't like raw fish or mushrooms, and in fact most meals contain both those elements.
Well, it's mushroom season, it's the autumn, so there's a lot of them.
So that was a challenge, wasn't it?
Yeah, and sushi, but you don't need it. There's so much food when you're given a traditional dinner or breakfast. It's like, it's hard to finish it, even if you like it all.
And also, it's not only challenging for us because it's just not to our palate. You might like sushi and stuff, in which case, love it, you'll have a great time. But also it's the fact this is the same sort of thing for breakfast, lunch and dinner, isn't it? You always get...
it's variations of a thing.
You always get some raw fish.
Rice.
You always get rice. You always get that miso soup.
Yeah.
You always get, to say raw fish?
Yeah. Tofu.
So, tofu is in everything. Sesame's in everything.
Vegetables.
Yeah.
But last night we were in a little family-run hotel, and there was only a couple of guest rooms being used. And the food that they prepared for us
was actually amazing.
It was amazing.
This meal is by far the best we've had in Japan. It's absolutely delicious. Like?
This is amazing food. The attention to detail, the presentation.
Fantastic.
Unbelievable.
We'll cook this in a minute. Lovely.
Ah, it's a person.
Ah, right. So I think we might be getting a taste for it.
Yeah, and some of it, we were eating things that at the start we were going, oh, don't really like that. And now we're beginning to eat it.
Yeah, and we're
more.
recognising what it is.
And we're recognising what we like and so on.
So we did make some notes just to make sure we didn't miss anything out here when we go through. So we talked about the toilets, we talked about the people, everything works, talked about that. Food is good value, actually, isn't it, when you eat out?
Traditional Japanese food is good value.
Well, and also, if you go to the main towns and cities, so if you're going to do it in the normal touristy way, you come to Tokyo, you go to Kyoto, Hiroshima, you go on the bullet train and you go to all the tourist spots, then there is Western food available.
Yeah.
And that is good value as well, compared to what we used to. The yen transfer rate is pretty good.
Yeah, the yen is fairly low at the moment.
Yeah,
and there's
good.
loads of convenience stores around. So if you want to go and buy some fruit, if you want to go and buy a packet of crisps...
Or indeed a bottle of wine and a beer, it is available at many convenience stores.
Yeah. Just to say as well, we knew the country was mountainous, but we did not appreciate that basically it's completely mountainous and very beautiful. and everyone is squashed in the spaces in between the mountains. You know, everything, all the industry, all the agriculture, which makes it a fascinating place to travel around.
Yeah, very much more mountainous than we thought, and beautiful. Absolutely, there's a richness of scenery here. Not just the beautiful temples and the gardens and things that you'd expect, but just the general countryside here is beautiful for such a tightly packed country. I mean, here in Tokyo, the cities are crazy, aren't they?
Yeah.
We loved Hiroshima. That was a beautiful, clean, great city, especially given its history. But here in Tokyo, I've just loved because it's just so crazy. It's just the cities have been. I've really enjoyed the city part of it, actually, as well as the countryside. Anyway, let me go and have a look at my list. Make sure we haven't missed anything key. Oh, I'm one of the taller people around. That's quite nice.
I don't feel small at 5'2".
Yeah, do you want to go with that one? Can you read that?
There's no tipping culture.
Which?
So you know, you pay for your dinner and you don't have to add on it anymore.
They don't expect, if somebody helps you with your bags at a hotel, which they will, they don't expect you to cross their palms with gold. But that is a real nice change from anywhere else, you know, anywhere in Europe, US, whatever.
Yeah.
So that's great. The other thing that's quite surprised me is that, but when you think about it, maybe shouldn't have been surprised, is there's quite a lot of American culture here. In that things like the convenience stores, the way the road signs look, just even the way the people speak, those that can speak English speak it with an American accent, even though they may have never been to the US. I've found quite an abundance of American culture here too. Would you agree?
I think it sits alongside traditional traditional and modern Japanese culture, and it sort of, they've taken what they wanted and done all the rest.
And
of
not
it.
surprising, because of course after the war Japan was occupied by the Americans who rebuilt the country, so some of that culture is stuck. That's the way cultures develop, isn't it? Let me just check, there's some other bits and pieces in here. Oh, very safe feeling.
Incredibly safe. We left our bikes, we left our helmets on the bikes, we left our jackets, gloves, the panniers were on there, they were locked.
It's going to be difficult to get back to the UK way of doing things, where you have to make sure absolutely everything's locked down.
You take everything with you.
We even left our keys on the bike on many times, didn't we?
Yeah.
Just incredible. That is a real nice thing.
Their crime rate is very low
Yeah,
here.
it is. It's brilliant.
They have amazing coffee.
Yeah.
They have great coffee.
The
There's loads of coffee shops.
Very good.
Even in convenience stores, you can get a really strong cup of coffee if you're tired on the bike.
Yeah. Anyway, talking of tired, I'm knackered. We're going to fly home tomorrow. We've got a long flight home.
Yeah.
We've just got to finish our beer and G&T. We're going to then have a good night hopefully here at the hotel, and then off early in the morning. So that's it for this tour. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll no doubt be back for another tour somewhere, won't we? Somewhere, I don't know where, don't know when.
No, I don't know either. Nothing planned at the moment.
But we shall see. Anyway, thanks very much. If you stayed this long and watched all the videos in this tour up to this point, you're one of the diehards. Not many people do that, so thank you very much indeed for that. Very much appreciated. Hope you enjoyed it, and look forward to speaking to you again soon. Until then, this has been the Missing and Flyers.
Cheerio.
Missing the Flyers.